Hey, hey guys. It is a soulful Sunday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm super excited. I'm your guy, Mr. Dress and Rest. And we're about to have an awesome time. Oh, not I was counting down. I'm glad you were. I'm glad you were. 90s R&B University. Oh, we have one special guest already in from our panel. Hey, we have a special episode. We're celebrating Black Music Month and the impact of girl groups. Let me bring on one of our guests now. One second. Okay.
Hi, I'm glad to
Brandi!
stay straight. Oh my
It's
goodness.
okay. You
Thank
look
you. How are
gorgeous.
you? I've been
I'm
good.
good.
I've
How have
been
you been?
good. How are you doing? How's everything? It's been a minute.
I know it's been a long time. Things are good though. Things are good. Just life, working, just building the brand and getting back to it. I took a little bit of a break, but I'm back to it. And I've been wanting to
Oh,
do this for like a year and
well,
a
I'm glad.
half now.
Hey,
So
we're here. You never know. It's
so
all about timing, right? This is
yeah, it's all about timing. Let's see.
hey,
We have, let me see. Yes, Brandy's in the building. You know, she's here, always giving you a natural beauty.
my
B.
water here.
Sitting. Listen, okay, so
Oh,
I did good today, friend. I did water. I thought
yes.
about wine, but I did
Here's
I
to
did
our
water
water.
instead. Here's the hot water. Yes. Let me see. I think Meelah's in here now. Let me add Meelah. Let's see. Okay, Meelah, send me a request to go live. Let me see. Oh wait, I can invite her through this way.
Hey guys.
There we go. There we go. Hey, I love Black Ivory.
Hi.
Hey.
I love y'all too. We love y'all. Our fans are just so amazing, so dedicated, ride or die. We love you guys so much.
Oh, Nikki Gilbert. It's just
Yes,
tapped
the queen.
in. Oh, we're about to have a good time, people. We're about to have a good time. I just sent you ladies invites, Meelah and Nicci, to join. So it should be coming through. Got a little black pant playing in the background.
I hear it.
I see you. Oh, hey, Auntie Melba Moore.
Oh,
How are
wow.
you? Let's see. Meelah, you weren't able to join? Let me see. Hold on. Meelah, try to send me a request. And Auntie Nicci. Maybe it'll work that way. That's weird. Okay. Ooh, baby. And we have to talk about this song too because I remember
Oh,
you weren't a
none of
big
us
fan of it
were.
at first.
No, no, it was not. The album was done. It was like, no. But we'll talk about it.
Yes, we're going to get to that. Yes, we are. Um, okay. Oh. Okay. Mine's on. Is it not working, guys? Let me see. What that way?
I'm gonna just do this
Did
from my
it
phone
pop
because I
up,
don't understand.
ladies?
Hello.
Hi,
I'm like,
gorgeous.
why can I join y'all? Hi, Brandi. I
Right.
had a hard time. I couldn't get in. I was on my laptop, but I'm now on the phone because my laptop was doing stuff.
That's what I ended up doing. I didn't
Yeah,
do it
I'm
from
like,
my
what the
phone,
heck? Have
friend.
I
Don't
not
feel
done this
bad.
in that long that I forgot? All right, we'll just use my phone.
Look, that's why.
Okay.
Listen, I mean, this is weird. It usually works on the phone, but something from my laptop or whatever. It's all good. How y'all doing? Good.
Auntie, we're
Good.
good. We're good. Oh,
So
these are my
silly.
friends. Hey, buds.
Hey, friend.
Oh, Auntie
Isn't
Melva
she
said,
just naturally
Brandi, you are
beautiful? I tell
gorgeous.
her that all the time. So pretty.
Just be.
Listen,
Just be. Just naturally be.
it's effortless, honey.
Yes.
Only
Yes. So now we're just waiting
for
to
an
bring
hour.
on Nicci Gilbert.
Girl, right.
Oh my God. That'd be so fun.
Let's see. This is going to be so dope. This is so dope. I'm really excited about this. I mean, we have 3 members from powerhouse girl groups, impactful girl groups, so just influential to the culture, to people, to our childhood. I
Oh,
mean,
thank
my
you.
Lord, listen, y'all were on all, I mean, from Bring It On to Cousin Skeeter
Wow.
to, I mean, can we get into it? I mean, this is like the childhood, this is everything. So this is awesome. And I really want us to really tap into how girl groups have made such a huge impact.
There you go.
Hi.
Hey, Nicci.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, girl.
Hi. I
Listen.
gotta put my glasses
There
on
we
so I can't see
go.
y'all.
Girl, you.
Hi.
Well, hello. The struggle is real.
Hi.
I officially wear glasses now since the 40/40
Hey,
club.
listen to what I have said.
It's
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
hello.
Are we situated?
This, yes, I think we are finally good now. Everybody is on, looking
I'm trying to pull it
gorgeous.
together flyways. Hold on.
Black,
Together.
I don't see them, girl.
it's
No.
on.
Oh.
Listen. Hi. Oh, let me tell you something. Black women are just freaking gorgeous.
Thank
Okay, they just do it for me. Listen, I'm raised and born
Okay.
from
Thank
from a
you.
black woman.
Yeah.
So listen, all day, all day. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Soulful Sundays, and we're celebrating Black Music Month. And what a time, right? We have 50 years of hip hop. Tonight is the BET Awards. It's the BET Awards weekend, and we are going to talk about the impact. The impact. First, Black music in general is just impactful, right? But there's something special about girl groups and what they have done for the industry, not just for entertainment, but for the culture. I mean, I think we all, every generation from our moms, our grandparents, and so forth into now, even my generation, I'm a 90s kid all day, 90s baby all day. And you see my shirt, I grew up on SWV and Escape. We're different. We ain't the same, baby. I grew up on Brownstone, 702, Blaque, and so forth and so on. So I want to speak on that and celebrate that because, one, I do know that Black women don't get praised enough, and definitely in this industry. And girl groups are something I've always loved, and that was my first to music and entertainment. The first record I really remember hearing was my grandmother playing the Jones Girls and the Emotions, and and so it just stuck with me until 1990 when I seen In Vogue, and I was like, okay, now this is very reminiscent of that and so forth to you ladies as well. You all have done so much just within your groups, outside of your groups, and we want to tap into all of that and celebrate that. And let's just have a good time. Welcome you guys. I'm Mr. Dress and Rest, and we have up top in the right-hand corner, looking gorgeous as she wants to, Miss Brandi Williams of the super group Blaque. Show us some love, people. Yes, yes, yes. You know the hits. You know the hits. 808, Bring It On. To me, the hit movie, Bring It On. We have I Do. We have I'm Good from the soundtrack of Honey. Then down to the left, my cocoa butter, yum, 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 my beautiful Meelah Williams of the super group 702. Now, we know them hits. We know the hits. Where My Girls At, Stilo, I Still Love You, Get It Together. I mean, the list goes on. Yeah. Let's not get into the songs with Missy, Beat Me 911. I mean, so many things. Just amazing. And then we got she knows she my heart right here. My auntie Nicci. Yeah. She kicked the game off for the rest of the ladies on here. Brownstone kicked that thing in. Sound like a whole praise team and choir.
The OG.
When they came out, the OG. I mean, If You Love Me, 5 Miles to Empty, Grapevine. I mean,
that album.
Actress, executive producer. I mean, my Lord, what else? And of course, my indie love, right? My indie love. Yay, KA style. Okay. Yeah, so we had to represent, today. And so as you know, we have very impactful people on this panel. And I just want to see, let's start with, how have you guys been? I know you guys have been working, you guys have been busy, you all are doing shows and so many other things, but how have you been?
Good. You might want to start? Been okay. I've been good. Let me speak for myself. I'm great. I'm alive. I'm well. I'm thankful. 702 has recently gotten busy again, and I'm so grateful to God for that. I unfortunately lost my mom to cancer in October. And every day I still be feeling like I don't know if I could make it. So I thank God that I am here, and that 702 is an awesome blessing of a distraction. So I'm grateful. I'm just happy to just see the fans still receptive and enjoying themselves. I've been good. I'm just still pushing through, learning how to be here without my mom, truthfully. Yes. Cool. But I'm good. Thank you.
Yes. And we send you love and condolences. I know we had spoke prior a while back when we were talking on the phone. I was just like, friend, don't worry about the interview right now.
Yes.
How are you? Let's worry about you first.
Appreciate
we'll get to everything
I'm still
else.
here. I got a whole child to raise, honey. So I ain't going nowhere.
Yes. And Miss beautiful Brandi, what's going on with you, honey? How you feeling?
I'm happy to still be working. We actually just did a show together, 702 and it was incredible. So we got a lot of cool things in the works. Blaque just did Unsung, so we are we're happy to announce that and get that out. And we don't have a date that is coming out yet, but it should be here soon. So that's going to be cool to finally tell the story.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
What a story.
So you get this much, but at least some of it.
Right.
I'm I'm planning a wedding, so it's a lot going on.
Congratulations.
Lots going on.
Yes.
I'm doing really
beautiful. That's
so is this going to be an ATL
it's
wedding?
Going to be a little bi-coastal.
Yeah, I'm through bi-coastal.
Okay.
A little fair. It's going to be, it's going to be interesting, but yeah, I'm excited about that.
That's beautiful. As you should be. Congratulations, girl.
Awesome.
I'm on, Blaque.
Yes, congratulations. Yes, and to my auntie,
I'm good. I'm good. Like Meelah said, I'm just, so blessed to be here. So many of us, unfortunately, are not. Say my condolences. I haven't had a chance to really
Thank you.
Well, I went through losing my mom and my dad 90 days apart. So every single day it's going to be you know, well, let me not sound like doom and gloom. It's going to be effort for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll start to feel the pressure.
Yeah. Brandi reached out to me and shared her story as well, because unfortunately she's familiar as well. And so thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry to hear that. But, you know, we are surviving.
Yep.
And, you know, if we can make it through this industry. Ooh, Lord.
I know that's right. You just spoke a word. Yes, ma'am.
Did she?
Did she?
I'm like,
with us. So otherwise, everything has been good. I'm a grandmother. I've been
congratulations.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
wow.
Fighting the good fight, you know?
Yeah.
More in how what we do impact our community then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm glad you guys just kind of touched on that, on like some personal notes, because, you know, so much as us as fans, we lean on your skills, your craft, your gift, you know, to get us through, right? We're listening to those songs to be some type of encouragement, uplift us. And sometimes I think we forget, like, these are real humans, and they're going through things too. And, you know, like, that album may not come out right now because they dealing with
that
life.
Part. Yeah.
Like, you gotta wait. You gotta wait.
And especially if you're private,
you gotta wait.
Like I don't really, I don't expose a whole lot of my private life on social media, and I tend to just kind of shut down, which may not be healthy, but you know, that's just my personality. So I internalize a lot of things. So like, yeah, y'all wouldn't know, you know what I mean? The fans wouldn't know. So, but that's why I felt compelled to share with my fans that my mother had passed. Usually I don't really spill my tea, but But I needed everybody to understand, like, oh my God, something devastating just happened to me, and so that they could know like why I've disappeared for months at a time or whatever. So yeah.
Us going through our veins.
Mm-hmm. Else. Yep.
Oh, vibes. Really.
Yes. So I want to ask you ladies really quickly, and you all can tell me your own individuals. When did you all know, like, yeah, I can sing and this music thing is what I want to do, despite how crazy it is, right? But like, this is my passion, this is my goal, and I'm gonna stick with it.
I would say I was 5 years old. I was on tour. You know, I come from a musical background, so I was on tour with my aunt Sherelle, and I was standing there. I could see it like it was yesterday, standing on stage with her, and she gave me the microphone at 5, and I was like, I want to do this. You know, like that was my aha moment right there. And just from there, just watching my family do it, and it always felt like the family business to me, because that's just what we did. And when I was 12 years old, I told my dad, I was like, okay, I'm ready to do my first demo, and that was it from there. So yeah.
Yes. Now, your grandfather, was he
Bobby Rogers from the Miracles, my grandfather.
Yes. Come on, Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Okay.
See, I forget.
Legendary.
I forget. I did not forget.
Yes. I love that.
Yes. And for my young bucks, right, who may not know who Sherelle is, I mean, who don't know that classic jam, let them know. Let them know.
Sherelle.
Listen. If you don't know who Sherelle is, go look it up. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What about you, Meelah?
Of course, I started singing like most Black folks in church. My first solo was at age 7, but I didn't really know that I could sing because I just was only 7. You know, I know you have some people that are like, I've been singing since I was 2. Well, that wasn't me. I was like 7. And for whatever reason, the choir director just offered me a solo. I don't know what he saw or heard or what, but I mean, maybe it was the Holy Spirit, honey. But he told me, you about to lead this song, and I led a song at 7 for the choir, and then from that moment on, like, I definitely realized that, okay, I might be okay at this. Okay, I'm all right. I think I could do this. And then my mother, once she realized I had a gift she just started putting me in all kinds of stuff around Vegas. And so I started taking it more seriously, and I sang at everything as a child in Vegas, talent shows, fashion shows, oh gosh, the national anthems. I mean, you name it. And so I wasn't sure I wanted to be a professional singer, though. I knew I enjoyed it. I knew I loved singing because, I mean, it just felt like it came naturally. But I was about to go to college because I have an older sister, and she left and went to an HBCU. Like, he left Vegas and never came back. So I was like, I want to do that. Like, I'm out. And I just remember, like, 702 happened. And so it was either, you know, college or Motown. And I was just like, well, y'all, let me go on over here. Let me don't do this. I know.
Who's telling Motown?
You can say no, right? But I mean, I do kind of feel like I missed out on the HBCU experience, though, too. I hear a lot of stories. I'm like, dang. Yeah. But I sang as a whole. I sang throughout my entire childhood. I sang, and it's all throughout high school. And I don't have any known famous family members, but my entire family sings as well, like Brandi's. My entire family, Lord Jesus. So it's just, except my sister, sorry, girl. But so it's just, yeah, it was just, like Brandi said, it's always been in my veins. I always loved music, always loved to sing. And God blessed me with the opportunity to sing with 702. And then, yeah, I had no idea. Yeah.
History. Yes. And I know my Auntie Nick, you come from a legendary musical upbringing. Your dad, please tell the
Big
people.
Mix. My dad was a Motown producer. He actually co-wrote and produced "If I Were Your Woman" for Gladys Knight.
Yes.
No, I was a Motown baby. Although I did not grow up with my father. I didn't meet my father until I was 15. But DNA, yeah, right. Wow. It was in the DNA. But my mom was an amazing, incredible jazz singer in Detroit.
Oh.
An entrepreneur. So I get the whole multi-hyphenate entrepreneur thing from her. Just like Meelah, and you know, we look college for a minute. and a friend of mine saw Dead Poet Society and was like, "Did you see Dead Poet Society? It's perfect. These days, do it while you're young." Baby, listen. We were like, "No, we can take this Pell Grant and do we can do that."
Right.
How to do that? I'm not suggesting how to do that. But short story is we moved to Los Angeles, and then just faith, consistently faith. Put together the group. I held some auditions. Was adding a drama log. We rehearsed. We wrote the music, and we lucked up an opportunity to sign with Michael Jackson. It's God.
Wow, that's huge. That's major.
Amazing. And now all of you have, as far as your groups, they all were were signed, or your introduction to the industry was connected to some major people. I mean, I think Gilbert with Michael Jackson,
the best.
Michael Bivins. I mean, you, Meelah. I mean, from New Edition. I mean, come on now, that's
right.
And then Left Eye from TLC for Blaque. I mean, my Lord. I mean, some amazing talent who also seen the talent in you all. Like, they need to be in the
pretty
forefront.
Fascinating. That was one of my first concerts. My very first concert. My mom finally let me go to a concert. I was young. I don't think I was younger than 10, and that was my very first concert, New Edition. And me and my sister, honey, we was loving New Edition, so we had the posters, and I mean, and that was my very first concert that I attended. And then full circle, it was the very first concert of the very first tour I ever did with 702. We opened up for them at the same arena in Vegas. Like, it was just, wow. I mean, I still, sometimes when I verbalize it, it still trips me out. It's just like, wow. Yeah. It's just such a blessing, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. You just, you fan out over them, and then like, you end up like working with them. It's just like, thank you, God.
Yeah. So, were there any groups in particular that you always like, man, they are just they had a real impact,
right?
On you, or
right?
Well, definitely Brownstone for sure. Like, how could that not have an impact on you? Like, their voices, hello. Like, I mean,
I told you we killed that album. Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Like, do we all not try to sing those songs and like match those notes? Yeah. Like, come on.
But SW
I mean,
TV
that's
as
a
well,
tight
though, for
harmony
sure.
right
Like
there.
Nicci
My
said, oh my
lord.
gosh, I thought I was Coco, honey. I
Yes.
wanted to be her so bad. And like,
Coco was the
Yes.
vocal coach for everybody.
listen, yes, I sang all her songs.
Yeah.
What?
Listen,
Yes.
especially for the 90s, like
Mm-hmm.
90s and 2000s, like even now, like
Yes,
she is what
Yes.
everyone reflects back to.
absolutely.
Her and Brandi.
Oh, that Brandi.
Yep.
Her and that
Both of them.
Brandi.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so
possible way.
true.
Yeah.
That's what, because I remember listening to SWV and Brandi in high school and trying to study and mimic both of them. So you absolutely right. They were the blueprint.
Definitely. Yep. I was definitely back. Like, yeah. Gabe had it.
Okay. And you know, it's funny. I'm glad you guys mentioned SWV because I had made a post today asking everyone like who is their Mount Rushmore of girl groups, right? And that was the one consistent group that everybody
Absolutely.
said SWV.
They started that 90s
They were
era.
on their
They really
Mount
did.
Rushmore.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Between them and
In
In
Vogue.
Vogue, everybody had In Vogue and
Vogue was incredible.
SWV.
The class, the beauty.
Yes.
I mean, 1990 kicking
Yeah.
down the door, like
The
we're here.
voices.
It was a lot
Crazy.
of I mean, my mother loved Jade. I mean, she was a church woman, but honey, she loved Don't Walk Away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She loved her some Don't Walk Away by Jade.
We
You
love
had
Jade.
Good Girl. You had,
it was so many. Yes, it was so.
Yeah.
John Day. I love
you had
John.
Allure. Yes.
Allure.
Allure. You had so many groups. It was so many groups. It was, but okay, so I say
Oh,
prior to the 90s.
Any group like you said, the Emotions,
right.
You know.
So,
oh my gosh.
Dreams, of course. Like,
yep.
Gosh,
I'm trying to think. It's so many. I'm sure.
Any girl group before us, and see, this is the thing that's so dope about girl groups is, you know, even though we influence one another and we draw inspiration from one another, everybody had their own thing. You know, like Total. What? Are you kidding me?
Right.
Total was
you
know, everybody had their own thing, and that's what was.
Yeah, they had swag. Total definitely had that edge. Like that bad boy situation was just like no other.
Yeah, and they really stamped themselves in the industry as the bad girls of R&B, right? Like
very edgy.
with all that swag and the edge.
The very
yes, we didn't see anything like that
before.
First,
well put together Destiny's Child. They were an example.
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
They brought it back to that whole girl group moment.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, Destiny's Child had all the vibes. I mean, they were definitely a mixture of In Vogue with a Southern hip hop flair to them. I mean, because you didn't hear too many groups like singing fast, where it was almost like rapping a little bit, but then you're like, wait a minute, some girls can really sing though. Let's not play with it. They can really blow.
Baby, stop playing.
You know?
Okay,
so,
listen. Yes.
Listen, okay. Doing wardrobe
and the hair.
Like y'all came in strong. Like, listen, I got the clothes, I got my hair.
It was tight.
Hey,
you could tell that there was some, parental influence or some type of real structure in there with you know what I mean, with the discipline. You could see the difference.
Yeah.
Because if they had drama or if there was dysfunction, we would never, we don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
artists
they were.
Yep.
Yes. Speak on it. Speak on it. Because you all come from that era,
media
though,
training.
You had to go through the artist development and making sure, media training. Yes. So can we tap on that just a little bit, please? Like, how was that experience for you? Because I always laugh when I speak with like Coco and them, they're like, child, we was rough in the beginning, like we just girls from around the way. And so did you all find that like the transitioning into this world of entertainment and the public, was it like do I need to like tame myself a little bit? Do I still be myself? Like, speak on that.
I think
please.
because Blaque came from Lisa, right? So Lisa, there was no limits with her. There were no boundaries. So she encouraged us to be authentically ourselves. Like there was, no like, oh, don't say that or don't do this. It was like, yeah, you feel that, do it, say it, be it. She wanted us to be fully who we were, which was great,
That's awesome.
as kids. We wanted to had so much energy, and we just wanted to, the world to know who we were. So she was super encouraging with that, with just like, yo, whatever you feel, whatever whatever you guys want to portray, let's do that. But obviously getting to a major label, they want to refine and make sure that, we're doing the right things and we can answer the questions the right way. And so, yes, we went through the whole media training, but I think having Lisa there to make sure that we were like still being ourselves, not
I'm sure that helped.
Really letting the world know, like, yo, this is who we are. It's not just a made up thing. It's not a packaged thing that somebody made up in a lab. We are 3 individuals that came together that wanted to do something big, and she was there to kind of coach that and guide us through that. It was great.
Yeah, that's excellent. We definitely went through the media training, and speaking for myself, being that I came from church, I already was like super sheltered, if you will, and like and my mother was a lady of grace in class, honey, and style. So she was very hard on me and my sister. I had to be a lady at all times. So I was already like, just okay, let me just be perfect. But it's a lot of pressure, you know what I mean? And I think that's why now, like, even though I'm private, I'm way more of an open book. Like now I'm way more of no filter, because I was trained for so long, in the culture in Black families, we are trained like, sweep everything under the rug, don't tell everybody everything, watch what you say. It's like, that can be a lot of pressure on you as a teenager and as, as a young adult. So while I appreciate what media training did for us groups back then, because now, honey, it's just, oh my gosh, now
it's
now, oh god, the children just say whatever they want to. But I appreciate those moments. But it was, for me, it was a bit, oh child, she lose her light. It was a bit of pressure. But I welcomed it though, because I had never gone through anything like that outside of, like I said, church, and having to just be, a certain way for my mother and my grandmother before I got told off. Having to go through that with learning what I didn't know how to do was interview, you know what I mean? And we always got taught, do not let the journalist or the interviewer run the interview. Don't let them take control, because that's what they'll do. They'll run with it and misconstrue your words. And so I remember having to learn how to, Wendy Williams was one of our first, I'm sure y'all's too, interviews. And you got to learn how to interview with her child as a young girl.
Tough cookie.
So, I mean, I appreciate those moments for lessons like that, It's necessary.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't even imagine, because you were like,
I was 17 and she, child.
I could not even imagine. Like, even now, like, as a 32-year-old, but like at 17, an interview.
Yes.
She
held back. She didn't hold back. I'll say that. We did like 2 of them with her, but and I don't know that they trained us to deal with someone on her caliber of journalism, but we were always just very posed and watch what we said, and we're prim and proper. But I wish we did have somebody like Lisa, who just was like, yo, chill, be yourself, be relaxed, so you wouldn't get so uptight and look so nervous,
Yeah, sometimes it's like,
what about
you gotta have the best of both worlds, because too much freedom could be a lot of, could be too much.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes we probably did need to reel it back a little bit, but it's always good to have the balance. You're lucky to.
Absolutely.
Key, I think, to have the balance. Obviously, we got the whole, when you go out there, you're representing Michael Jackson's speech, and nobody was interfering with that brand.
Yeah.
But they really spent a lot of time putting us through artist development, so we had a real clear understanding. And just, when you raised right, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Having parents who truly love you and people in your life. And I always kept people around me who loved me and who I truly loved. I was never really about the Hollywood life. So I thank God that I was able to be authentic. The older that I've become, I heard Oprah say it, you turn 50 this way, you turn 60 that way. Shits and fucks that I give. That people more from transparency than they do the bullshit honey iced tea. So I try to pride myself on being way more transparent. And I've always been very vocal and transparent, which has always been a problem for other people in my career. I'm not gonna say a problem, because I think that myself. And I accept myself as just someone who's going to say what I have to say. And hopefully people appreciate that, because it's enough fake folks around here. You know?
Amen.
I think
well,
overboard,
yeah.
oversure.
Yeah.
And I think because artists lack artist development, and we are intentionally targeting undeveloped people to become artists. That's why we see so much violence and hostility and ass shaking and justification of ratchet shit, because we've got to care about, you know, the overall message of the. So the more ratchet you are, the more successful you are.
Right.
So
But that's it. It's crazy because Nicci, because you're verbal and because you are unafraid to speak your mind, and you've been that way, you know, there's a negative connotation that they want to put on women who have a voice. I was very timid for a long time in terms of speaking up. You know, I was in a group with sisters where one of them was just way more vocal than myself and the other. And, you know, I just used to kind of withdraw. And I don't know, I don't even know how I got that, because my mama, baby, Mary Ann was a beast. And so I don't know. I think I took more after my dad, who's just like real chill. And I had to learn the hard way that people take your kindness as a weakness. You know what I mean? It's like, so now, you know, when I bring the bitch out in Meelah, everybody's like,
right.
You know, like, well, what do you expect? I'm a 45-year-old grown ass woman who's been through a whole lot. And everybody is like, you're not going to always get, you know, quiet, sweet Meelah, because I've lived enough life and been in this business long enough to understand that, as they say, nice girls finish last. Like, I don't have time for it, you know? And it's like, why can't I just be matter of fact about something and not be disrespectful? I'm not being disrespectful. I just know that I have to help you understand what it is, because unfortunately with social media, people think they know you.
Right.
And they don't. You know, they have a certain perception, you know, and it's like, child, you just see a page of things that I post, but you don't know me like that.
Yeah.
You don't know
Pictures.
me like that. Fall back.
Yeah.
You know, share that, like, so, you know, it's 3 girls, and well, now it's just 2. Natina is gone 10 years now, but the 3 of us, out of the 3 of us, I was that meek, sweet, quiet, you know, Natina was you know, super vocal, and I was just kind of the one to be like, okay, I don't want to cause any, you know, let me just, you know, but you have to learn how to speak up for yourself.
You have to.
And it's,
I'm telling you.
are looked at as, oh, the sweet one, or this and that, and as soon as you do it, it's like, oh, you know, who is that? In here, I'm just myself, you know, and I finally figured out how to speak up for myself, and you know, it's just it's a need. So, thank you, Auntie.
Listen, okay.
Yes, listen. This is why I need. Listen, this is why we need Auntie Nicci. This is why we need more like you. Like, you are real, raw, uncut. Yeah, and it's not, and it's never. Well, okay, let me say for me. For me, it's not abrasive or extra, because, you know, if you met my mama and grandmama, you'd be like, child, dang, she ain't said nothing that was out of the norm for me. You know what I'm saying? However, I do know that sometimes in the industry, and definitely in very male dominated environments, they take that as, oh, being difficult, right? You know, because you're speaking your mind and you're speaking truth, right? And it's not about being difficult, it's business.
I think it's get used to, we have to rephrase or reframe how we receive people's reaction to our object, right?
Yes.
It's okay for people to be irritated by, you know, you speaking up for yourself. It's okay for
right. They will be all right.
But
right.
Their issue down to do with you, right? As long as what you are doing is coming from the right place, and you being authentic to yourself, and you have to think about, you know, as we start to get older and involved in this industry, you know, we realize that the industry has evolved past us, but dare we decide that we want to educate ourselves and become more aware of what is right and what is wrong and what we should versus what we're given, then all of a sudden we're difficult. Call it whatever, put whatever label you you want to put on it. Let's handle the business, because all that matters is what's on paper, what's in black and white. You call me every name in the book.
Listen.
Horrible shit about me. All I care about is what's on paper, and if what's on paper is not right, I'm gonna hire an attorney and we're gonna get it together, right? Yeah. Because this is the era we live in, where you can't do this to people and expect them to just sit back and be nice about it.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes.
Yeah. And,
yes. Absolutely. And one thing I want to shout you out for that you're
curse
always
my son out. I'll be right back.
All right. Hey, Zach. But I definitely want to touch on, because something that you always are just so big on is educating your people, right? Rather male people, but you always are educating us on owning our stuff, right? Like making sure our business is in order, how we carry ourselves, and just always uplifting us. And I really want to shout you out for that and thank you, because you've even helped me, you know, when I first started with Soulful Sundays and everything. Like, do you own it? Did you do this? Did you do that? And I'm like, okay, yes, I'm gonna do it. But now I own it. I own Hawkins. I own the name and I'm good, right? Everything's good for what I want to do. And that was smart, right? It was really smart for me to do, because I would never want to look down the line. I'm like, hey, that's very similar, or very, you know, whatever. And the thing is, we all can have similar ideas, right? Which is fine. But, you know, just making sure that our business is taken care of, and especially amongst, let's say, women in the industry, that unity, you guys are always speaking on that. And I noticed that, first of all, let's go back to Black Music Honors, right? Speaking of unity, right? So this past Black Music Honors, SWV was honored, right? Missy Elliott was honored.
Yes.
Evelyn Champagne King, baby. She, legendary. Jeffrey Osborne, it was amazing. But that night, for sure, of course, and the Hawkins family, absolutely. But that night, for sure, was some very impactful ladies being honored. And I know that, Meelah, you had the opportunity to honor Missy Elliott, 702. I mean, y'all could have did a whole segment by yourself.
I know, I wish. No, I wish.
No, y'all had so many
they gave us
joints
like
with Missy.
7 seconds of where my girl's at, and that's it. I was like, what? Get at least 30 seconds.
I mean, because that woman's catalog is ridiculous. Like, I mean,
that's
so
why
many artists could have been there
so many
that
hits.
night. Right. Hits, right? And that was amazing. I know that we spoke on SWV. I know that you, Nicci, had a moment with Coco backstage that you kind of highlighted just a little bit. And I thought that was, you know, amazing, because one, you both come from very powerful groups. You know, you're very two strong people, and that y'all could share that bond. And I wanted to ask you guys, was there ever any other female in the game who dropped some gems or kind of gave you that extra push or love when you first came in? And is there any younger artists or other artists that you've given some words of encouragement to? Or
okay, I'm gonna brag real quick.
Please do.
So I recall many years ago when Destiny's Child was first coming out. They had a show at Prince's old club in LA. It was called Glam Slam. And a Sony rep came and grabbed us and was like, hey, they're about to perform in the showcase, blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't, you know, a mushy exchange, but just, you know, giving them encouragement, nervous. You know, they were like, oh, we love you guys and we'll listen to y'all. So it was a very big moment for me, knowing hindsight that all of them were such superstars, right? You just never know when you have an opportunity to like say something positive and beautiful. Just as far as like the veterans are concerned, give me a break. Everyone that I've ever met, down to Maya Angelou, who introduced us at the Soul Train Awards, has always shown so much encouragement. Like, so I'm just always grateful for that and hoping for other people.
Yes.
Yes.
What about you? I mean,
right.
That's a big flex. Come on, Destiny. I mean, to be able to give Destiny's Child words of encouragement, you know, because again, it's like, who knew that all these years later, I mean, not just as a group, but also as individuals, they would be iconic superstars, you know? So that is
we had nothing.
amazing.
Matthew
What about you?
I'm not taking no credit for that. And then Chloe, I actually did do artist development with Chloe and Allie as well. So
nice. They are so
nice.
That's another flex.
Nancy,
right?
Nancy, that's a big flex. That's a big flex.
The throats on those
I mean, you talking about the first Black Little Mermaid. I mean, come on,
incredible.
That's a big flex. Like, come on,
those little girls are. I mean, I'm sorry, young women, but woo, they are.
Yeah,
they are like they are so. The vocal control on those sisters, my God.
Mm-hmm. And that harmony is so tight.
I love their sense of their ear. Sonically, they just get it, man. They have a very keen sense of awareness when, like, their musicality. To be so young, I'm so impressed every time I hear them. I'm so impressed.
Yeah. Been that, and they have
very clear.
Excellent. You can tell. I mean, look at their careers. I'm happy for them. Yeah.
Excellent. You have to have a strong support system.
You do.
Especially coming in young in the game.
Yeah.
Have to.
It makes a difference.
Really, when you tell the people that do, you know, that have a real solid foundation behind it. Yeah, you can.
Yep. Because when that foundation is shaky, like you see it, you know, you see the demise and the fall of the groups. Trust me.
Oh boy.
Speaking about that, help me understand, family. Help me understand. What do you guys think sometimes the trigger or the issue that kind of brings a little bit of tension to the group that kind of causes a little bit of a shift? And I don't know what it is. I was talking to a friend. I noticed that something about that second and third album. Look, something about that second and third album. I don't know what it is about that time. Like what happened?
Well,
Please
I would like to start this one off by saying, in my opinion, I think, unfortunately, with success comes, well, you know, you have eyes on you, and I think there's sometimes, especially if you're considered a lead singer, there's speculation that there are people in your ear. I think there's some animosity that just naturally comes about. And I think, unfortunately, it becomes competitive instead of, you know, united front and group effort. It becomes, well, she's getting more attention. You know what I mean? She's out there more. She's, you know what I'm saying? She has more FaceTime because she's singing more leads. And that just turns into a little jealousy and animosity. And that turns, of course, into friction. And then, you know, God, and the rest is history, as you know. And then you just have all of these different dynamics, different personalities. I think the older you get as well, if you start out as teenagers, you know, you go through, God, so many different phases and stages. You go through adolescence and all types of different things, you know, hormonal stuff, you know. We didn't get to go to prom. Some of us had to do school on the road where some of us got our diplomas. I mean, you know, it's just a lot of different factors. I was in a group with two sisters, you know, they have the same mother, same father. And then here I come in a group that was already established. They were a whole family unit. And then it was 4 girls and all of a sudden it's 3. And like, who am I that comes and like takes over this position that was once someone else's? Like, oh, child. I mean, it was, you know, for me, it kind of started off, unfortunately, on, you know, it's going to, yeah. I mean, we had great times, don't get me wrong, more than bad, but we, you know, we were young. And I mean, I understand now, looking back, how, you know, they could feel, you know, with this outsider just coming into this already formed family group. But then as time goes on, you just want everybody to just, honey, just stay in your lane, play a role, and we all get the same shit, because that's all we all get. We all get the same shit. So, you know, it gets, over time, you get frustrated and you start getting defensive, like, yo, leave me alone, man. Get off my back, you know, and then it just turns volatile. So.
Yeah.
But thankfully, we're in a good space now.
Amen.
Thank God.
Amen.
Yeah. Everything Meelah just said is almost exactly what I would have said. I mean, we weren't sisters, but, you know, just young women, girls turning into women, you know, in front of the world is difficult, you know, and like when you have three different personalities and everybody's coming in, you have different people in everybody's ear. Well, why is she doing this? And she's getting more this, and maybe you should be solo, you know, like it's a lot. And if you don't somebody to kind of like, hey, say, hey, none of that matters. This is it's not about you, it's about the group, you know, it can get crazy. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, if anybody have sisters in the household, you already know what that's like. If anybody in the house, you already know that so just imagine doing that in front of the world and having that responsibility of, you know, being perfect, you know, in front of everybody's eyes, and trying to still hold on to what your initial thing was, which was to come together and do something great, you know, while you have other people trying to say, you know, tear it down. It's a difficult thing, honey. It's difficult. It is. But somehow, you know, through it all, with us not being blood, we held on to the fact that we really love each other. Like Shamari and you know, that's my sister. That's my big sister. You know, we talk whether we're working or not. Her twins are my god kids. Like
family.
We don't miss birthdays.
Oh,
we don't miss holidays. We don't, you know, that's my sister. So getting married and she like, what we do, you know, like, okay, like what's happening, you know? So we really loved each other. When Tina was here, you know, we loved her. Trent is her son. He's still around. He's in our lives. Like, this is family at the end of the day. So, you know, but going through it as kids,
it's hard.
It can be hard, you know. So
yeah, you're right, Brandi, because me and Misha just talked about this. Like, no matter what, child, they are my sisters. We've been in each other's lives since we was in high school.
Right. How could you not
I'm like we're family. Yeah. You know, whether highs, lows, everything in between. At the end of the day, they hold a very large part of my heart. I mean, like, we all in each other's lives at very young ages, and we've been in each other's lives through lots of things, you know. So by default, she just told me the other day, like, I'm so sorry. By default, girl, you are our sister. So sorry, you in the family. I'm like, oh, child, y'all don't want me. Yes, it feels like y'all have gotten on my last nerve. Jesus, but that's so true, Brandi. You're so right.
What you guys have experienced together, only the three of you really know.
That's
you know?
right. That's right.
Only the three of you know, and that's the beauty of it. Like, it's so special that only, you know, everybody think they know, but the three of you guys really know. Right.
And that's the thing, you know, we would never, knock on wood, Jesus, you know, out any of us, you know what I mean, and drag any of us. Like, I would never do that to them, you know what I mean? Like, aside from like telling my story, sharing my experience with what I went through maybe back then, because I never really spoke on it till I got older, but like, just, you know, going on social media and just like dragging my sister, like, I wouldn't even feel right, you know what I mean? That just would feel crazy. Like, let me be mad behind, like, off the camera. I would never do that, because at the end of the day, like you said, we are a family, and at the end of the day, when we get on that stage, guess what? We're a unit, you know?
Period.
So it's funny that you guys said that, because I remember not too long ago, Jermaine Dupri did an interview, and they asked him about Escape. And matter of fact, it was his interview, and then he did a documentary about So Def. And he even acknowledged, he was like, you know, I didn't even realize that I was part of the cause of adding friction, because when he first met them, you know, they all sung, you know, could all sing and would all sing parts, but Latasha was typically like the lead, right? But when he first wrote Just Kicking It, with Candy pretty much leading, and it was a hit, then he started writing songs that pretty much kind of fit, for the most part, around her voice. But he wasn't thinking about how it could cause friction. He was thinking just business, right? Like, it's a hit, let's go with that. And I thought that was an interesting take for an exec to finally say, you know what, I might have added a little, not even knowing. I might have been a part of this friction without even knowing, you know. And I thought that was quite different to think. Do you think that definitely, I mean, like pretty much like you said, Meelah, I mean, it was already typically kind of established, bring you in, you have a song like Stilo, it pops off, and it's like, well, you know, it's kind of like if it don't break, you know,
well,
fix
you
it,
know,
you know,
that's interesting. What you just said about Jermaine Dupri, because we just learned on Unsung, which we did back in 2017, by watching it. Mr. Bivens, Michael Bivens, he kind of admitted on Unsung, like, you know what, we probably didn't go about it the right way. You know, looking back, you know, we probably could have informed Lamisha, who was the lead singer before I came in. She was doing most of the leads, and he admitted, like, yeah, we probably could have went about that differently and introduced Meelah into the group, and that was very. I'm sure that was. I'm sure for her that was like something that maybe, you know, she needed. Maybe, you know what I mean. Like, I appreciated hearing that as well. You know, because we were young and nobody really, you know, I don't know what she was told, and she didn't know what I was told. We just was thrown. You know what I'm saying? Thrown out there, and so yeah. That's big that they finally now as men, as executives can admit that they possibly played a role, you know, in that.
That's skill, and that still goes on in this industry today. You got a lot of men who I think mean well because they're in the managers or producers. You know, some of them are just troublemakers, but it's important for them to understand that if you don't know the dynamic of women in a predominantly female situation, that you need to have people in there, and you need to expect that if you don't, then ultimately what happens is the group breaks up. Or, you know, and that's not just girl groups. That's we look at it when we see it in reality television. We look at it when so many spaces. We don't have competent. When I say culturally competent, if you're not a Black woman, then you should not be telling a Black woman how to do what Black women do, what Black women receive. We are the number one consumer industry. And I think when we're younger, we don't realize it because, you know, they're only concerned about the bottom line. And the bottom line is if Nicci is singing lead on the records and it's resonating, or Meelah singing, you know, or whatever, you know, that's what we're going to continue to go with no real compassion or understanding. Flat out, Maxie is a far superior when it comes to just vocally what Maxie's capable of. Listen, I don't with her because her voice was amazing, right? But there weren't a lot of opportunities for her to be presented in that way because we have this sort of it's working, run with that, run with that, run with that, run with that, as opposed to really allowing us to go through a process of, you know, everybody has. When we heard, what was it, Lily we heard? Or Taj, I'm sorry, use your heart.
Yeah.
Taj,
you know what I mean?
yes.
Yeah.
On
You heard
Use Your Heart?
more that early on, then, you know, maybe that. So just, you know, balance is really important, and making sure that whoever is, you know, the figurehead, especially if it's a man who doesn't understand the dynamics with women, that you know, listen, number one, and not just that everything we're saying because we're bitches. Some of us are just smart and talented, and what we say should be heard. I'm sorry, I'm cussing on your podcast.
It's fine. You know,
Listen, and I think when we get to that point, which, you know, we still have a long way to go, because Black women as a whole are still the very last people, the first people you run to when you're in trouble, but the last people you go to from getting into it, right? So I think when we start realizing the real value that we as creative moms and just dope individuals have, give us the opportunities to do that and live in that space, then it won't be on fire. But it's on fire right
now. Oh my goodness. Now, speaking of impact, right? Because we know that your group had such an impact, and I think it's also the nostalgia of it all, right? And we've seen so many shows that have been very successful. You know, over during COVID, we had BET presents The Encore, which had members from girl groups a part of it, and they were to help form a super group. Now, Meelah and Brandi, you both had members from your groups that were a part of this show. What did you think about it, as far as like the overall concept to bring all these different ladies together from girl groups to kind of, you know, bring their swag and flow to create some dope music.
You want to go first, Brandi?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it honey.
Yeah, give me the truth,
so for
give me
me,
the tea.
so the concept itself, I think, is dope, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because I knew it was for reality TV,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of felt like
They
it was going to be
play
negative.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and that's sad to say, but I feel like you take several women from groups who may or may not have egos, I don't know, and put them in one house. Nobody watches Brady Bunch reality TV. Nobody see that, unfortunately. The world we live in, you know, everybody wants to see people get red for filth, and they want to see a mean girl, and they want to see, you know, people knocking each other down, coming for each other constantly. Like, nobody wants to see, you know, women who are just really supporting each other and kumbaya. Nobody wants to see kumbaya TV, and it's so unfortunate because that has become the tone of, I don't know, the culture. And so, I mean, I was happy that my group members got the opportunity, but I will say I was very disappointed. I know they did not enjoy their time there, and I was disappointed in their experience because they were not reflected in the most positive light. I'm not saying that they were not at fault to some degree for that, but at the same time, this was their first experience with reality TV, and I know the cameras capture what you give them, but I was very disappointed. But I was happy I saw my girl Brandi there.
Yes.
We went and supported the group. We did do an episode.
Yes, you guys had a moment where you guys came together. Yes, I seen that. What did you think, Brandi? Because I know, like, for like, speaking of like one of the other groups that were represented, Total, for Kima, and she made it very clear on the show, she kind of felt a little way like, well, you're making time to do this, Pam, but we could be doing some Total stuff. So that's why I was asking, like, what would you guys take on it like that? Like, did you feel like your group member was kind of like doing some other things and they could be focusing on their own group? Or okay,
go ahead, Brandi.
No, I didn't feel like that at all, because, you know, like that, it was a moment in time and we get back to do what we're doing. But I did feel happy about it, like when the initial show started coming about and the concept, it was like, okay, this could be cool. But like Meelah was saying, also the negative spin on it just made it look, I couldn't watch it after a while. It just became like so bad. It made everyone, not just my girls from 702, because I love them. Like, they're like sisters to me, and I hated it. Like, I was like, I just wanted it to go off. I just wanted it to be over, because I'm like, this is not what we're about. Yeah. This is not, you know, groups represent. Like, it just didn't feel right, and it didn't come across right. And so that's what I didn't like about it. But I love the concept. Like, everybody in that room was super talented. Like, if they could really, you know, the music ended up actually coming out great. You know, they had a great songs day, but it was just a mess. Like, I was looking at her like, this is a train wreck. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it was crazy to me.
I couldn't watch it. I saw like little bits and pieces. The only full episode I watched was the one that I was on, child. And other than that, I was like, because I was hearing too many negative things, and I was cranking every week. I was like, I can't do this. I will not. Unfortunately, I was offered the show, and I passed on it because I knew in my spirit that it wasn't gonna work for me. I don't know if I can coexist with 6 women in the house. I just don't know.
Yeah. That was
because I know what these producers want.
Yeah, I think maybe
I'm not
house.
I'm not gonna do that. I got a child. I'm not trying to go to jail and do nothing ignorant. So
yeah,
I stays away.
Already.
Yeah, they definitely with reality TV, in which, I mean, you all know, you know, they try to put their spin on it, and, you know, it'll start off as this great positive concept. You're like, oh yeah, that's gonna be amazing. And you get in it, and it's like, this is not quite what this is not what we agreed to, people. This is I thought I was coming to make some hot songs, and now I'm fussing with somebody about something so dumb. This is not
if you
it.
just I think R&B Divas in the first season had it right. I think it was really just about
I was on tap on that. See, thank you.
Next topic.
Let me
roll back. No.
Right.
I'm glad you did that because that was my next topic.
You know, obviously the intentions that both Faith and I had going into it. But the bottom line is, and I think everybody knows this now, we didn't know it then, is that if you don't have ownership of it, then you have no control over your narrative, period.
Yeah.
I don't care what reality show somebody offers you. I don't care how much money somebody offers you. If you do not have the ability to say, no, that's not what we're doing. We're going to do this. And you have the ability to do that is it has to be on paper, period. You know, I went through the process of really learning the hard way that what people say to you in the warm and fuzzy moments really doesn't mean anything. I was promised that we would see the edits. I was promised, but it was my first time in reality TV, so I had no idea that, you know, the promises needed to be on paper, right? So reality TV is an awesome tool. Right. I think it is really awesome, and I think it's really unfortunate that other groups have the opportunity of benefiting from it to build billion-dollar empires, right? But Black people, because we have been conditioned, and I hate to always sound like Sister Soldier, and you know, that's Sister Soldier. It's hard for me to talk about, look, my Angela, but it's hard to talk about it without just keeping it real. And the fact is, if you have ownership of it, you cannot have any control or say over the narrative. Right. And there is a way to do it, right? But you have to, again, going back to people who are competent in that space. Yeah. If Kathy Hughes, for example, had, you know, not to say she didn't have power, because obviously it was her network, right? But if this show was being produced directly by TV One, R&B Divas was, I don't think the problems would be, I think we would still be on air. I think we would still be moving in the right direction. Because again, TV One is represented, owned, and operated by a Black woman. I think it was but what happens is a lot of times these production companies have much more control of the end result, and they get themselves involved in the project to the point where they can't be removed from it, right? Perpetuity. And we just have to stop doing those kinds of deals. When we stop doing those deals, we can get back to people being able to show their gifts. I mean, we want to see us fighting over, you know, we don't want to see us fighting, but if there has to be a diva moment, let's let the diva moment be over who does the dopest record, or whose performance is the hottest, or who's the tightest in rehearsal, or who, you know what I mean? So people don't want everything kumbaya. But there's a lot of really productive stuff that in our own lives, the people we deal with on a regular basis, you know, there's so much drama you can extract from a show without bringing because nobody has the power to say, we're not doing it.
Yeah, and that's why I haven't done reality TV since R&B Divas. Like, my experience was good, but at the same time, like, I know I had no control over my narrative, you know, and I don't think I ever want to do reality again, unless, like Nicci said, I have ownership. It is something, it's my content that I'm creating, that I'm, you know, pitching, because you don't have control. And honey, if they could edit and come up with sound bites and all types of things, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, question. I mean, so speaking of R&B Divas, have you guys, Nicci and Meelah, ever spoken about R&B Divas together before? Like,
no, because I came after. I was the last season.
You came season 3, right? Okay, but I didn't know, like, maybe after.
No, but all I know is I was too boring, honey. I was a snooze fest. I went fighting, so I was too boring.
Oh, what? I don't think that. I just think that the producers didn't know what they were doing.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, that went to you, Miss Nicci, honey. That's what I'm saying, right? They was all over.
And I wasn't part of the season that you were on. By that point, I was in court with them. Right. But I believe that people who are super talented like yourself, who have really compelling stories, like, you know, everybody has a story. Yeah. Right? Have a culturally incompetent lens, and that's no disrespect to Think Factory or anybody else, right? It's just a fact. I couldn't go in and teach NASCAR people how to do NASCAR. I couldn't go in and teach, you know, the Swamp Duck family how to produce their show. So somebody who has no idea, no real respect, no real understanding of what it means to be a Black woman in music and the struggles that we have and the different things, the reason why season 1 was so good is because they extracted information from Faith and I because we were very involved. I wasn't a vanity credit producer. I was somebody who was very actively involved in casting everybody on that show. And my intentions were never to disrespect anyone. And I believe that what happened with the R&B Divas brand, and I kind of know where this is headed, it is a whole for a minute. It's a whole for a minute because here recently we've had a lot of clownery, and I think it's time for everybody to kind of take a step back in that space. I'm in an excellent space with TV One, and I'm really excited about some future possibilities with them.
Congratulations.
And possibilities. Yeah.
Yay.
Divas brand. And if people, I see them in the chat, and I'm saying this because I see people asking about it all the time. Fortunately, this is a clear example of when the wrong people get involved in the right project. And unfortunately, until we get through the legalities of what that means, it doesn't even make sense because I'll never do business with certain people again. And if that means that, we have to put it on ice for a minute until we decide what direction to go in, that's kind of what it is. I think
one thing we know about you, you're a go-getter, sis. So we know you go, honey. We know you.
Yeah, we know that.
The truth. I just tell the truth, right? If I screwed up, I'm gonna say I screwed up, right? I just tell the truth, and a lot of people don't particularly like that, but that's again not my problem. Bottom line is, I don't have a problem.
Right.
Woman attached to the brand. I wish every single solitary woman connected to it the very, very best, and I look forward to working in another capacity, another space and place. But anything connected to certain individuals connected to the franchise that have just put so much toxic energy into it, and that's the problem. You know, people who kind of can't really decide which way to go because they're kind of in a not wanting to. And when it's like that, let it go, and God will give it back to us if we're supposed to have it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because as you can see in the chat, I mean, from the time you hopped on, look, from the time you hopped on, they was like, Army Divas. Army Divas.
And I want you to hear it from Faith and I both. You know, we've been talking about it, again, figuring out ways to really make it happen. But it just has to be something that is controlled by women who care about women. It has to be that is, you know, we're doing this again to get into litigations with people. We're not doing this again for there to be, you know, these are real sisterhoods and real, like, some of us were real friends.
Yeah.
Don't talk to this day. Healing has to happen before we go back.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And that's the thing. Reality TV can do that. And I mean, terrible. And that shows you know what I mean? Like, it breaks up home.
Yeah. And again, it showed you that impact of Black music in the culture, because I mean, I remember the first time I seen the promo for R&B Divas, I was like, hey, yo, Faith Evans, Nikki Gilbert, Monisha, Kiki, like, I mean, you know everybody. I'm like, I'm like, this is the vibe. And everyone has done well, right? Everyone has gone on and continued to do great things because, I mean, you all were individually powerhouse talents that came together to just show the camaraderie, the journey, the process that you all go through as not just as artists, but as Black women, as mothers, as wives, as grandmothers, as daughters, as, you know, everything, you know, because I think, again, like we said earlier, we think this is just all they do is just sing all day and write songs and do music videos. I'm like, no, she was just frying chicken before she came out here.
Did you say I had to exit myself? Go check myself. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But that's real. That's real. If y'all can hear upstairs, Demi is just yelling upstairs.
People are interested in. I truly believe that those are the parts of our lives that people want to see, and those are the parts telling, and those are the parts that unfortunately a lot of us have PTSD about showing because we dealt with clowns who don't understand anything but drama and cat fighting and all the other stuff. There's plenty that goes on in our everyday lives that I believe our audiences would love to see.
Yeah,
even if it's so much.
And it's sad. And you know, I'm going to touch on this one last thing in regards to reality TV, because it really did break my heart, and it was a little cringy to watch a little bit. Queens of R&B, SWV, and
I didn't
Escape.
see it.
And that was on Bravo, and that was a huge show.
I didn't see one episode.
You know,
I didn't want to.
Maybe.
I didn't want to see it. I was triggered by the concept. I was like, no thanks.
Girl. No, like seriously. And I think again, we thought so highly of the moment and we were so excited because one, they had an amazing verses, right? We were like, oh, this is dope. This is, we're bringing them together. And I think that we felt like this will help anchor with us as fans of All One. And we've been screaming for a girl group tour, right? Everyone wants the girl group tour. Like, we want to see it. And we were in hopes that this would help anchor that, right? And then we get to the show and we're like, this is not, like, I know for me, I did not want to see them going back and forth, especially over a headlining spot. No, it just really broke my heart. And I just want to, you guys input. Do you feel like we could ever get this girl group tour, or that girl groups could actually work together and do something really, really powerful?
I think we will, and I think we can. We just have to realize our power and that we don't need the middle people who turn up the bullshit, because that's all it's about. Here's the reality of it. With R&B Divas, when Faith and I were working on the tour, right? And someone says to us, okay, this is the ancillary property because this is what we all do for a living. If they're not getting the tour, then they make their money off of the tour not. You understand what I'm saying? So if there's a whole concept of a tour and the producers of the show are not cut in on the tour profits, then what other way do you have to make profit than to make the show a train wreck and the tour not happen so people can tune in so you make your money off of the bull sugar, right? So as soon as we realize that we have the fan bases and we have the power, if you took the collective of women in R&B, if we just decided, you know what, we're done with the bullshit. We're done with people dividing us. We're done with people separating. Because what happened with Tamika and Latasha is something that's a lot of people are going to have to talk to God about one day. They'll be like, okay, so remember that when, because even if there was something going on in that family dynamic, there are just certain lines that you don't cross. You don't amplify trauma like that, right? You don't amplify. Those people are sisters. Right. That is their mother. Their lives will be forever impacted by what happened on that show. Now, the flip side is, I've said to them, because I'm all friends with them ladies personally, you knew what you were signing up for when you signed up for it with Mona Scott. No shade, the brand of television that she does, right? So what I'm saying is, when we realize as women, business women, when we realize the value of what we can do if we come together and cut out the middleman, then we will have that tour. Then the fans will have the ability to see the sisterhood and the camaraderie, and we won't have to go to people and ask them for money. But until we get to the point where we can collectively put all of our differences aside and stop allowing people to bait us into bullshit, then we're going to keep it.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? I didn't even think about it in that way. Honestly, Nicci, that the fact that in their mind, they're like, well, I ain't getting no money off this tour. So whether you do it or not really makes, never mind. My money comes from this show, And
it shouldn't even be that hard. It's I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, because you all have been in the game at least 20 years, right? Does it really matter who headlines? Just asking. Does it really matter?
There are opportunities for, again, if you didn't really care about a tour happening, the sensible thing is people co-headline. People come out together. Everybody,
or like who
there's so
or whatever.
Hair.
Let me tell you something. Do you know how many times 702 is put down here, and there are male acts, okay, men groups that they put on way down here that have had only one single, right? Yeah. But they make the women, they make us go on before these other 90s male acts who maybe had, I ain't trying to be funny, who maybe had one or two songs. Of course, I would never call their names out, but it's something that we observed, and I'm like, for me, it is what it is. I don't care. Honey, I will open up for 3 people. Just get my check. Because, I don't care. Because you know why? And I shouldn't say that I don't care, because unfortunately, it is a real thing that a lot of these male promoters do. There are a lot of chauvinistic, type behaviors that happen all the time. But I never bark about it. I never bitch about it. You know, they put us on all the time before certain acts who didn't necessarily sell more or whatever. Listen, I don't care about that stuff. Tomato, tomato. Just give me my check and I'm out, because I'm leaving right after I get off the stage anyway.
Right.
I really don't care.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's ego at the end of the day, though. Some people really do care about that, you know?
Happened over the course of 10 days, which means that they didn't even have 10 days, allegedly. I don't know. I would say, but allegedly, they didn't have 10 days to figure this shit out. So, like, now you have the world feeling like, oh my God, there's a whole horrible thing between Escape and SWV about who's headlining. They had 2 weeks to make that determination, right? So clearly, the goal of the show was never to work it through so that they could go on a tour.
Right.
It was for them to fight about.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so sad. Yeah, I didn't. I couldn't watch it. I knew it was gonna be a bit much. I figured.
Yeah. It was definitely crazy, especially because, like, when you know both groups and you know both members, like members from both groups, and you're just like,
I think that's why I want to see it, because I love all of them. They're all my big sisters. They're all my friends. I didn't want to.
Right. Right. It really puts you in an awkward situation, and that's what's so foul about all of it, right? We only have so many fans in R&B, right? So why do we keep dividing fans?
Yes.
Why and putting them in where you got to choose whether you team SWV or team Escape? I love ladies, all of them. Why can't we all get along? You know what I mean? And that's business.
Yes.
Better business for people who don't give a shit about us. For us to not.
Well, because if you want to go really deep, Nicci girl, you know, it started with Master Honey and eating brainwashers, and we still running with the dag, you know. You know, we're so divided.
Speak on it.
So
You better
speak
just,
on it. Good God Almighty, from colorism to this to that. Anyway.
In the world, if you put Blaque 702, Escape, SWV, if you did an all-girl 90s girl group explosion, we would allow every on the.
Y'all would seriously. Y'all would probably have to do stadiums and not arenas.
That would be incredible.
You have to do stadiums.
Incredible.
And we need to do it to show people, like, we can work together.
Yes.
We can do it. Like, it's not that deep. Like, we love and we love each other. Like, if that show happened, I would be, soon as Blaque came off the side of the stage, I'm on the side of the stage watching
singing
everybody
else's stuff.
SWV, I'll be singing background for Blaque. It's just because this is what we love to do. We saw everybody singing background.
And we're all fans of each other. I'm a fan of everybody. Like,
always the middle man.
Yes. Yes, and it's funny that you guys brought it up as far as, you know, singing for each other or backgrounds or whatever, because now let's have a little fun, right? Have a little fun. So, one, has there ever been a song from another girl group that she was like, dang, that song hot? I wish I could have had that number.
I always wanted where my girls at, okay? I still love you. When we pulled up to the show in LA, y'all were singing. I still listen.
Yes.
I got off that golf cart. I was like, they singing my song. I was like,
no, that's thank you. I still love you.
Baby.
Level. That's for real. Thank you.
I
love that song.
A classic.
You know, Brandi, that Where My Girls At was for TLC. Did you know that?
Yeah.
That was for TLC.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
Okay, right.
the whole backstory.
Right?
Yes.
We were trying to get it, honestly.
Okay. Wow. I never knew that. That is so funny. Yeah, TLC passed on it.
I know. Lisa was trying to get it for us.
Oh.
That would have been hot.
It would have been, because the song is just dope. It's just a dope record. So it would have been just as dope, I'm sure. It's Missy, you know. She'd be writing her tail off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Brandi, I had an idea, right? And I always thought that you would have sounded really dope leading Digging on You by TLC.
Man, I love it.
I always thought that, like, y'all would be, if y'all had the opportunity to, like, you know, if y'all had that song and you that would be so dope.
I love them. Anything they, you know, wanted to sing.
Right.
Anything. What about you, Meelah? Was there ever a song he was like, "Hey, that song hot," or we would have sounded really dope singing it or doing
I mean,
it?
I don't know that I ever thought maybe we would have sounded better or nothing like that, but I mean,
Not better, but
I guess I'm in my
just
mind,
put it in a vibe.
my brain don't function like that, but
Well,
maybe just
I got one.
I was gonna say I just listened to everybody growing up. I used to really listen to music. I still listen, but I don't listen like I used to listen. Like when I was in high school, I had every cassette tape you can think of. I recorded everything off the radio and had my slow jams tapes. Like I was really, 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 really into music growing up. I knew all the lyrics. Now I don't even know the lyrics of my own songs. Like I really I'm the worst. I make up lyrics all the time. But I really used to be like just really heavily invested in like music. So I loved every girl group that came out. I wanted Cut Close. I killed that album.
Yes.
What is the song? I don't know, but their songs to me were, I mean, I just was in a space with that album. It was Brownstone and Cut Close that we listened to at what's the corporate apartments from the 90s? I know y'all remember.
Corporate apartment.
Yes. In Burbank.
The corporate
Oakwood. Yes, Brandi. I remember being in Oakwood and I was like, dang, like I hope our music has this same effect that I feel from Cut Close's cassette tape and Brownstone. I remember listening to those two tapes. Brandi, that dag on not Bring It On. I love Bring It On to Me, but what's the other one? When y'all were singing that, we were leaving on the golf cart and I was like, wait, now they're singing from the Honey soundtrack. Love that. I'm good. I'm good. I love that record.
It's a bop. Again,
was that
Missy? Look, Missy.
I never knew that.
Missy,
that was Rodney.
She just was in the.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. Yeah.
Rodney Jerkins.
But Missy, she did a lot of dope stuff for us too. But I'm good as Rodney Jerkins.
That's what I thought. I love that song. Oh, gosh.
So I would have loved, Meelah. I always thought that you guys would have sounded amazing singing Rain. I think your tone for Rain by SWV would have been.
God, it's a beautiful.
You sing it like for real. Like to be honest,
I don't think so. I think nobody can duplicate
Meelah,
Coco.
Baby Coco. But listen. That could have been your Baby Coco moment. Like, child, let me get
in that case, I wanted to recreate all his songs and all SWVs, all of them.
But listen, what's so dope about that song is Rain was originally for Brandi.
Wow.
Really?
I never knew
that. Yes.
Well, Brian, what's his name, Nicci? Brian.
Yes.
Brian.
He's so
dope.
He's so
produced whole bodies of work, which I really could appreciate in the 90s. It was like you worked with the same producer, so you had a chance to really develop as an artist. And then, like, then it got with Jimmy and Terry. It was the whole thing.
Right.
Totally
Face.
Absolutely.
That's a hard question. You tried it with that question because
now, of course, you know I got a
good songs
for you.
So many good songs out there.
Question. I know, right? Now, do you guys remember the group Pure Soul? So, Auntie Nicci, you couldn't tell me that Brownstone could not have killed We Must Be in Love by Pure Soul.
Yeah.
That's the record.
Baby, that would have been fire. And because, because in that group, it's like several different leads on that. But like y'all could have played around with it. You, Maxie, Mimi, like that could have been fire. Fire. Now, tell me this, right? Out of all of the singers, each of you tell me what is your Mount Rushmore of female singers?
Right. I'm like, come on now.
It's a hard question, but I kind of
all the way back to Shaka, Aretha.
Hey, come on.
Like go to the Diana, believe it or not, doesn't get enough credit.
Yes.
It's the pocket.
Yeah.
Miss
Ross.
You know who else doesn't get enough credit from the era? Yeah. Well, she's a disco queen. I think Donna Summer was.
Oh, girl. Yes.
Yeah.
Donna Summer was ill. I listened to some of her albums.
Summer. I need Kelly Brown to get
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
We gotta make it happen.
Well, your girl is doing Dionne Warwick, and she needs to, because I mean, I just watched Tiana Taylor. Yes, I just watched Dionne's documentary, and oh my God,
Tiana Taylor, yes.
was young Tiana. I mean, what's Tiana? Her young face?
Yeah.
Woo.
Oh my goodness.
Incredible.
That's to see. That's what I'm excited about seeing. I'm excited about seeing some powerful stories of Black women.
Yes.
You know, I bless Whitney's heart. I don't want to see one more Whitney Houston project.
Yeah.
I mean, not for a while, just because we keep recycling, right?
You want them to let her rest.
Yeah.
Let her rest.
Yeah.
For a minute.
Yeah.
Let her do this.
Yeah.
I'm with you with that.
That should be told at this point. Like, we know, got it, we get it.
Yes.
Leave her alone. Leave her alone.
Yeah. So many other stories that you guys can tell. So many other people. So many other impact. Like, we just kind of let the queen rest.
Jesus.
You know, like let her rest peacefully. But I know that was a kind of a tough question, because I listened. I tried to answer the question myself before asking.
It's too
and I was
many.
like, ooh, this is mighty tough. It's hard, but you know what though? I did it where, and it wasn't even just sport. I kind of did it where it was people who I felt like so powerful, but don't always get there.
Okay, let me give you 4 of them then. Okay, look. Okay. So Phyllis Hyman.
So on mine, I had we here.
What's my other girl name?
We here.
Back to Vesta.
Vesta.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Mickey Howard.
My God. Mickey Howard.
That's what I'm saying. You can't. You just.
Mickey Howard is everything. I love this. Ooh, girl.
Everything. And wait a minute.
Oh,
you gotta include Angela Williams.
That's why you friend. That's it.
There you go.
And you know, she produced all of her own music.
Yes.
She's a beast.
Yes.
That woman
like,
can.
Come on. She doesn't get enough credit. I mean, she's wrote in two of the most iconic songs for Stephanie Mills. You know, Learn to Respect, The Power of Love. You know, Something in the Way You Make Me Feel. She wrote that.
Well, child, Renee and Angela.
She's a beast.
Okay, Renee and Angela. Renee and Angela.
Renee and Angela. Yes, Smile.
Oh my God. Patrice Rushen was incredible.
Classic.
Ashford and Simpson. I mean, you know, if we want to talk about production and writing, you know, Nile Rodgers and all, but
Roberta Flack.
Yes. Roberta Flack. Yes. You know, so many impactful and powerful singers and songwriters, producers, females that just don't get their just due the way they should, and have incredible resumes. I mean, my Lord, like it's mind.
I mean, listen, Sherelle,
you all though. Yes, hello,
Sherelle.
Oh my goodness.
Seriously.
Please tell your auntie Sherelle that always with her and oh my God, Pebbles.
Always record, baby.
That was my jam.
That's my jam. But so mine.
Sing that at my reception, y'all.
Come on.
Listen, because that's Sherelle, Pebbles, and Johnny Gill.
That's why I'm so happy to see that they acknowledged and honored Evelyn Champagne King. Yeah, I didn't even know that they were doing that, and when I saw that, I was so happy. I got up and stood on my feet, because that's my soundtrack as a child. You know, what my parents played. You know, that's real music, man. Alexander O'Neal with Sherelle. I got today, Lord. That was real music, man.
Absolutely. And you guys have all done amazing things outside of your groups, respectfully. And I want to highlight some of these things, right? So first off, with my beautiful Brandi up top. First of all, y'all gotta know she is a entrepreneur for real. Okay, she has the nail care line. Seriously. And I'm not saying this because we were met with buds, whatever. Because I actually purchased product from her when I first met her, and I got it for my mom. Her mother, she loved it. So really, really dope, and the candles and everything. But musically, though, did y'all know that my girl is the one singing the hook on Nelly's Grill?
And I know that. See, thank you, friend, for letting me know.
That is me.
Yeah, listen, I was in middle school like, my grills. They ain't had not nail grill in my mouth with these teeth right here, but that's all right. That's all right. My mom wasn't playing that. You ain't get no grills going under that. No, I think for
look, I was on the video. It was at the shoot. They were like, "We got you a girl." I was like, "No, I'm okay. I'll just sing this song."
About high school age, about high school. Yeah, about high school age. Yeah, I was like, my mom was like, "You ain't get no grill, child. I just paid for braces too."
I still low key want a grill, but you
know. But how was that experience for you? It being such a classic song in hip hop, especially as we celebrate the 50 years of hip hop. I mean, you are a part of hip hop, not just with that, but also in your group. But definitely, like, that was a moment that you had outside of your group that will forever just be iconic.
Incredible. It was, to have a #1 record outside of Blaque, was dope to have, and be a part of a huge record with not just Nelly, but Paul Wall. It was dope. It was a great opportunity, and I'm thankful to be on it. So long live the grills.
Long live the grills, right? But please let the people know about the nail care line, though, and where they can
Be Polished. Yes, I started Be Polished during the pandemic. Just trying to figure out, other things that I like to do. Everybody knows I'm a super girly girl, and I love my nails and just, being a girl. I love all of it, makeup, hair, all of that. And so I just wanted to do something that me and my mom used to do as kids. She loved getting her nails done. And, she would take me when I was a little girl, and that was just kind of like our thing. And so I started Be Polished. It's a vegan, cruelty-free nail polish line that's actually going to turn into a full cosmetic line. So I'm super excited, and we're still trucking along.
Yes, it was super sweet and sent me some. Yes. I remember I have your first, I think the first you dropped, what was it? It was a summer collection. What was it? I forget. But the point is, she sent me some from each season. Thank you.
Bring It On collection. Shamari and I did like a Bring It On collection together for our 20-year anniversary for Bring It On for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Now to you, Miss Meelah. Miss Meelah.
Yeah, no, I am just Zachariah's mother.
You had a list of things. She always want to downplay. It. No, can we get into let's really get into it, okay? You are a part of, first of all, your songwriting skills, your pen game. If y'all do not know, she co-wrote, I believe, 3 songs on Faith Evans' legendary Faithfully album. Yes. And we all know the hit. Yes. You Get No Love. That's one of the songs. Yes. So y'all know that's a classic Faith bop.
It's fun. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not together.
Okay. That's what she told you, Fizzy. Okay. Yeah.
What? Yes. Working with Faith Evans, singing on the original version of Take Away with Missy Elliott. That is dope. Working with Macy Gray. I mean, you've done so many things, and I loved you. I know it was probably it was so small part, but I love seeing you and just seeing you do your thing in the Aretha series on Hulu. Yes, matter of fact, Shamari did that too.
Shamari was there as well, and Don did came aboard. Yes,
Don. Yes. Now, how did that come about? Being a part of the Aretha
for me,
series.
Shout out to my boy Draco. Brandi knows Draco. Yeah. Draco actually worked with Blaque, the choreographer. / casting agent at this point. He brought us all in. It was nothing but love. Like, he reached out to myself, my best friend Erica Jerry, who sings and tours with all the stars, honey. And then he reached out to Shamari as well, and he didn't have to do that because they had casting. They had cast directors, and they wanted to go with certain people, I'm sure. But he was like, "Hold up, I have talented friends, okay?" that you all may be familiar with.
Sang
I was sick at the time.
That's right.
Yeah.
He told me we couldn't do it. Yep.
I was like, this would be the time. I'm sick. Serious.
But we still had to submit, our we had to basically like submit ourselves singing or show them who we were, IGs or what have you. And of course, I mean, it was super cute. It was just like, we know who y'all are. We just going through formalities. But that was such a blessing and so fun, and I'm grateful. I mean, we were brought on as her background singers, but I filmed from February to March, and I was able to. They gave me a one-liner eventually. They said, "Girl, we're gonna give you a one-liner after your IMB." I'll take it.
We can't just say like we were, that you were just background singers, because I know you're like, you played a background singer, but Aretha Franklin's background singer wasn't no joke. Let's be very clear about that.
I knew that already because you sing behind Miss Franklin, but I really learned that when I had to learn those parts in those songs, intricate, and I mean, listen, the harmonies back then weren't no joke, and they shared one mic. We had real rehearsals. I mean, it was really deep. We were going to go in and pre-record in studio, like it was real in the field. It was very fun. It was challenging, and I mean, I've always loved acting. I would like to get into more of that. So I was just grateful for the opportunity. It was on National Geographic. I mean, honey, on National Geographic, and now Hulu.
Yeah. Yes. And you're an author.
I'm grateful. Thank you, Draco. I'm grateful. And Billy Woodruff actually directed my first day there on set. Billy Woodruff was directing that particular episode, so it was like full circle once again, because he did Where My Girl's At, and he did You Don't Know, and a few other videos. So, cool.
Yeah. Now Billy Woodruff, that's a big flex because he's done amazing videos with 702 and Tony Braxton. I mean, that he wasn't man
lots
enough.
Of us 90s.
So shout out to. Yes, shout out to him. He is amazing.
Oh, Lord.
But you're also an author.
Thank
Meelah,
you.
Favorite side.
Yes.
Yes. Please speak on that.
Gosh, like Brandi said, during COVID, honey, we all had time, didn't we? And so I actually wrote that before COVID, like years ago when Zach was still very small. It's a rhyming children's book, and I wanted to do something different. I established my nonprofit back in like 2013 when he was 4, but I was just like, okay, what else can I do? So then I did a children's album, and then I'm like, what else can I do? So I wrote this little children's book back then, but I never released it. Don't ask me why. Procrastination is the devil, ain't it? But so I look up all these years later, and I'm like, yo, I'm bugging. Like, let me put this darn book out. But my mother ended up being super sick, diagnosed with cancer, and of course, ultimately passing. And so I put it on. It was out then. It was out over a year ago, but I didn't tell anyone. I didn't promote it or anything. It was just there because, of course, of that happening. And so now I'm just like, okay, let me shake this off and let everybody know that I have a book out, and just trying to move forward. You know what I mean? Trying to be productive because my mom passed.
Yes.
I really just stopped living for a minute. And during COVID, I had a really hard time as well, because I had to homeschool my son, and my son is on the spectrum, and it was just really hard for me because it was middle school hours, which didn't nobody tell me was from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day. It almost took me out of here, truthfully. Brandi, God, she don't even know she was my saving grace one day, because I did an interview with Brandi on her show, and those things helped me along the way, just to kind of break the monotony of going crazy, as most of us parents, I'm sure, did in that moment. So yes, my mother was actually supposed to be my illustrator, because she draws. That was one of her many hidden talents. She can just look at things and just draw. Now, honey, I can't do a stick figure, but that was her gift. And so she started it, but then she got sick, and so she wasn't able to do that for me. But shout out to my illustrator Carlene, and just I'm grateful for that opportunity. My good friend Ike actually helped me with that. Brandi knows Ike as well. He helped me. He pushed me to go ahead and get it out there. He put me with the right people, And I'm super excited. It's self-published, but it's in stores, barnesandnobles.com and Amazon. And it's called Zach's Favorite Socks. And I'm planning another like book run in Las Vegas, my hometown, soon. I'm excited about that. Yeah, I've had one in Tampa and I had one in Smyrna at Barnes and Nobles, but I'm gonna go to Vegas and I'd like to do like some mom and pop, Black-owned bookstores.
Yeah.
To kind of encourage our children to read.
Nice. Yes, I'm gonna have to go on Barnes and Noble and order one because my little one loves to read. Jimmy, so yes, I'm gonna have to get him one amongst the whole library right now. Which
It's my first effort.
Clean it up because
I'm still learning. But it's
he'll
gonna be
love
a part
it.
2 because I know y'all need to know why those socks are Zach's favorite, don't you? Yeah.
No, and we gotta really. Can we give a shout out to Ike, please? That is big bro, and we have to give him a shout out.
He comes through, don't
he? Don't he, child? I told him, I said, you had to get a little EP credit for this episode because, I said, I need you to find my friend for me. Find Meelah. Tell her I need her. Call Brandi, get her. I need her. I said, cause they don't check no DMs, child, like that.
I'm the worst, sorry.
You got to find her. I said, find my people, please. No, and we have to, but because I've had all of you ladies on the show individually before, and Meelah, I had to thank you again because if you guys do not know, Meelah was the initial in the very first interview ever on
I don't even know if I knew that.
Ever. Okay. Like you kicked this thing off in 2020.
Oh, thank you. I apologize.
Thank you.
I was in the car because I forgot.
Thank you.
And so
But we had a good time. We had a good time.
I got my times wrong. No, thank you for having me.
But we had a good time, and I've actually got a shout out also the whole R&B Divas franchise because a lot of my interviews have been with ladies from R&B Divas, and just every time I've had one of you ladies on, it's always been a amazing experience. I leave away feeling like filled, educated, renewed. Even though I'm asking questions, I'm trying to entertain the people, but I always leave very much so inspired. You. So thank you. And now I got to get to my auntie, because y'all know she be busy. She be real busy. She be booked and busy. Y'all seen her on Martin. Y'all seen her in Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns. the play. Yes, the play. She's a playwright. Soul Kittens Cabaret. Soul Kittens. She's a playwright. She is the co-created EP of R&B Divas. She's a designer. Corrado. Let's not forget, people. She has Worth Media. She has her own network. I mean, you have done so many things. Let me ask you this. For you, Anthony, which project has been the most impactful to you?
I mean, clearly, Brownstone is probably the most impactful in my life because, by the grace of God, you guys know me because of it. And anything done after that has been the result of Michael Jackson and my sister Maxine, Mimi, and all the people who listen to our music. So that is the preeminent, asset, I guess. But the one that I think is probably the most important for me as a woman and as a writer and as a creative is From the Bottom Up, which is a series of where I did it at BET, Latifah as a partner and Shakim. And they were the first, and for a lot of reasons. Reason number one is because they taught me. It was actually Arthur Primus. Oh, I'm sorry. Why did I say that name? I'm sorry. Erase that name. That ain't nobody's business. I shouldn't have said this man's name. because he's super private. So whatever, he said it. But a gentleman who really kind of schooled me and educated me on the importance of ownership. I actually went to him, ironically, before I went to anybody else for R&B Divas and asked if he would get behind it, because I met him while I was on tour with Tyler Perry during Meet the Browns. And I learned, you know, after I did not do what he said the first time, which was ownership, the second time around, that, you know, ownership, right? Which is the same thing he was, you know, in my humble opinion, I would say, instrumental in Tyler's success, because he's the first person who, as I recall, allegedly invested in Tyler's plays, right? Which allowed Tyler to move on. You know, in my opinion, one of the most successful people in the industry. So, long and short, From the Bottom Up was my first opportunity as a co-owner of a series, of a show, an important show that was so important. We actually caught a child predator, a man who had been molesting and sexually assaulting young women for about 30 years in a community, right? Of Sarah Stokes, and we were filming From the Bottom Up, and it was the first day of film. She actually reached out to me about R&B Divas, and I was like, hey, I'm working on something else, something I have more control over. It's in partnership with Queen Latifah, Shakim, and BET. You'd be interested in this? And she was very interested. We asked if she would let us get her authentic journey, so we actually literally were filming her as she was being released from prison, right? Bottom Up series about women who have been on top, hit rock bottom, and were making their way back to the top. And the reason it was so important is because it came at a time when I hit rock bottom after being ousted from our Divas, right? I was in the middle of a lawsuit. Mac had just died. I thought I was losing my mind. I have the ability to help other people. And as a result of doing a show that I believe was really important in helping other people, and actually catch a freaking predator and watch this man get sentenced to 60 years in prison.
Wow.
A lot of people didn't see the show because, unfortunately, it wasn't promoted the way that I believe it should have been. We had Brandi Davis, and we had Angela Stanton, and we had just a bunch of really, I think when it comes to really being able to tell stories. And listen, let me tell you, I got in between women who were about to fight, right? I literally, like, Angela Stanton and Tamika Wright was about to go at it. We never used the footage. We could have a series on television. Because it wasn't about that for us. It was about let people healing in this journey. And while it wasn't critically acclaimed as a lot of the other shows, I'm most proud of it because we got somebody off the street who was hurting a lot of women, you know, and unfortunately I'm with a lot of other people I know. So that's what I'm most proud of, that show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you all done some amazing things, some amazing things. And the people keep asking, I'm seeing them in my questions, they're saying, where are the girl groups today? Where are the current girl groups?
Right
And that's what I keep saying. I'm like, they here.
Oh,
They may not be new artists. No. They not new artists. No. However, there are plenty of girl groups out here still working, still touring, still making music, still doing all the amazing things. But I guess because there were so many years of, an abundance of groups being out. And now within the past, I'd say 15 years or so, we haven't really seen that. Besides, we had Danity Kane, Pussycat Dolls for a quick second. Then we had Fifth Harmony for a quick second. And then
what's the group now with the girl
Flo.
Normani. Right? Didn't Normani come from a group?
Flo?
Oh, Fifth
Harmony.
Oh, see, okay. Oh no. But that's it, right? And then
it's kind of like
I think because there's so much negativity that is associated, with female groups, and that we can't stay together, and there is no camaraderie, and there is no sisterhood, and you know what I mean? I feel like
work with, and nobody wants to deal with that. It's just that's how people feel, so they don't want to invest into that, which is
what's
not
Kelly Rowland's group. What was
June's Diary.
They're still trying. They're still doing things together, I believe, as a group. Because
Womack Sisters, they're really good. They're online.
Okay. I mean, there are some that still exist for sure.
Yes. And the what's the group? They just performed at music
Oh, the
honors.
three.
Is
Yeah.
it the Shandellas?
Right? Or Tasha has
Okay.
something to do with that group. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Stella.
I'm not sure.
The
I'm not
Shandellas.
sure.
Yep,
But they're
that's
called the
right. Yeah,
Shandellas, right?
they can go.
Okay. Yes.
They are.
And they're dope.
Well, there's some
And
still
they're
around, I
dope.
guess,
They're
but
dope.
I don't
So
think people are
yeah.
as interested because we live in a very self-absorbed, it's about me, it's about me, it's about me world. You know what I mean? Like everything is like selfies and honey, this and I look at me, look at me, look at me, you know, and
Right.
I don't know that anyone wants
Yeah.
to share the spotlight anymore.
Have to
Doesn't feel like
Yeah.
that
As all
the
of your
group.
groups,
That's the truth.
yeah, as all of your groups have done so many amazing things. And I thought about this even more as I did watch Black Music Honors and as I sat there and listened to SWV's acceptance speech, and just felt their hearts, right? You know, how they just felt like they've been in the industry for so many years, had the numbers, still working, and they've always felt unappreciated. And this being their real first time really being honored, you know, having like a real honor. And they, you know, outside of the Lady of Soul Award from 2017, they hadn't had anything else, been nominated for so many awards, never win. And you all sang, you know, you've been nominated for Grammys and Ladies of Soul and BETs and everything else in Soul Train. And do you guys feel like, do you guys also feel sometimes a little unappreciated?
You know, I have to say, I think Black music and R&B music as a whole has been in a real unappreciated space. I don't think it's about, you know, because there are many guy groups out there doing anything, right? I think, you know, when you start taking categories away, you know, I remember we watched the Grammys and the American Music Awards and all these amazing, you know, things, and we saw people that inspired us. Right now, all the R&B categories are done early. Right, all of the, you know what I mean. We don't get the national global exposure. I think that we have damaged our fan bases. To be totally honest, exposing trauma and drama and madness the wrong way. Like, not that we have to be fake and not human, but I think back to reality. There was a certain level of curiosity, I guess, and like there was a fourth wall that hadn't been broken with artists and creatives. And it's very difficult for you to be an artist or a creative and not be in social media. To this point, like, I don't want to be all out in the streets, all up in the videos, dancing 24 hours a day.
Right.
But if you're not, your algorithm changes. If you're not feeding Instagram, then you don't have the fan base.
Right.
And, you know, so it's such a double. I think we're just overexposed.
Yes.
Listen, I got 3 followers on Instagram because I have not, and I probably will not, subscribe to, you know, that the concept and idea that, you know, if you are not constantly posting, that you're not relevant. You know, I don't really care about that. And no disrespect to those that do follow me, thank you, and I do appreciate it. But I don't like to feel as though I have to be on social media every day, posting constantly. If that's just naturally not something that I'm comfortable with, and I'm not, I'm just not that girl. You know, I force it, but it's sparingly. I don't post a lot, you know, and I know I guess I should, but that's just not. I don't know. That's just not me, and of course that's not the era I come from. So I just don't feel compelled to do so. When I do, it's cool, and I get it. It's like out of sight, out of mind. I understand all of that, but you know, social media has become somewhat of a bully to me. You know, it's like people are mean on there. You know, again, like I said earlier, they think they know you. Like it's just very. I mean, thankfully, I don't have a lot of negative traffic, but still, I just don't like I don't like the feeling I get when I log on. Truth. I just don't.
Yeah.
It's an interesting vibe down to Instagram, and so I just
that's not.
You know,
we didn't have to share every single part of us. You know, we could do our job, go home and have moments. You know, now it's like everything you're doing, what you're eating, what you're wearing, it's everything. We're overexposed, and it's just an interesting way of living, honestly. And it's
oversaturated. And I know that people want to know, more about our personal and private lives. I get that, being curious, about someone who you really look up to or who you really are a fan of or whatever. I get it, but I just ask that they give us grace for those who don't let you in that way. It's not that we don't appreciate your support and that we don't appreciate you, but just because we're on stage singing for thousands, that doesn't always mean we're comfortable with being in front of an audience. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that way. I have to open up to you before. I have to really know you before I'm just like really open. Like that's my personality.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be constantly just like, hey, look at me. Look at me. and no shade to those that do, because they do it well. I wish I could be more like certain artists who stay on the ground, Jesus, and who have millions of followers. But I'm just not.
But see, there's a catch-22 to social media. I know we had spoke about this before, Nicci, on your live, that I feel like social media has made it hard for the talented.
No,
for the talented. To an extent, it's made it's okay. It's a great tool to promote. We all know that, right? That's how we're able to get our skill sets, our businesses, whatever it is. That we did. It changed mine. Let's be very clear, okay?
Right.
I'm no fool to that. However, I think it makes it a little hard when you have a great skill set, and the first thing that a person will ask you is, well, how many followers do you have? So that becomes a little discouraging. I know even for myself, when my previous page got hacked and I had to start all the way over, and then even with all the interviews I had did and everybody I had on, when I would then reach out to people to get back things going, they're like, well, how many followers you have? You only have the followers. And I'm just like, but I have all of the content, I have the resume,
it don't matter.
It didn't matter.
My followers are low compared to, I guess, what I should have. You know what I mean? And it's like, right, like, oh, I guess because I don't post frequently enough, but also I'm not on there giving you tits and ass, and so I'm not singing either. I guess I could do more of that, but it's like that's just not who I am. I've never been that girl. Like,
if it's not who you are, like that's just not the type of people we are. Like
I don't sing in real life. Like I have singers tell me, like, girl, you are so, because you got singers that sing all day, every day.
Right.
I'm not that. I've never been that person. And it's not that I don't love my gift. And it's not that, sometimes I don't hear my favorite song and start singing around the house, but I don't sing all the time. I remember when I first, when me and music first started interacting, and I think he told me one time, like, you are the most never singing singer I've ever met. But then as time went on and we lived together all this time, I'm like, you're the same way. Like, we don't sing. Ever in the studio and on stage, and we might hum along with something, but like,
but what basketball player walks around with a basketball 24
right? You feel me? Right? It's like so now when people like, yo, why don't you ever sing? Or they'll be like, sing something. I'm like, where to check it? Because that's what I do for a living.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
It's your job. It's what we do. It's not.
The hair ain't right, but she hooking people up.
Right.
She ain't
So it's not really that off. It's really not that strange, truthfully. But I understand they love that. They want to see more, because now people have made it kind of, it's very popular now to hear your favorite singers singing all the time, and they do these dope videos where they're doing harmonies, with themselves and all of that. And I'm not gonna front. Sometimes I'm like, okay, all right, I'm about to sing such and such, and I get motivated. I'm like, yeah, I should be doing this more for the fans. But then I'm just like, wah, wah, wah. It goes away because it's not really natural to who I am. So,
can I just say that you ladies are such a vibe,
and so are you.
Thank you.
Such a
Thank you.
Well, thank you. I try a little something. No, I'm really into. I'm a genuine fan. I'm a genuine lover of music, Black entertainment. I listen to all of your music, have followed all of you through all of these years, throughout my entire life. I can remember the first time I heard and seen each and every one of you, literally. I can remember where I was at, what I was doing. I know I was in my mama's car when I first heard Brownstone. She was blasting that thing like it was nobody's business. And I'm like, they sound like the singers from church. They sound straight out. I mean, they reminded me of the praise team at New Thomas Baptist Church here in Baltimore, Maryland. And I got all my life, okay? Because I was a choir kid. So I was like, yes, ma'am. This is where it's at. Meelah, don't laugh, but I fell in love with you from watching all that. And 702 was on.
Wow, Nickelodeon.
702 was on all
and
that. Yes,
TLC
Nickelodeon.
did the theme song, right?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh wow.
Yes. And then And then when you guys did Cousin Skeeter, like
and Good Burger.
I mean, just a continue. And then Good Burger. And then
Right.
I mean, you know, you could not be a kid in the 90s and not
I'm sorry.
just,
it is storming so bad over here, Brandi. Is it storming by your house? Is it storming by your house? I mean, sorry. My window sound. That's why I keep looking. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm distracted. Like that.
No, you're fine because I'm like, it's mighty.
No, it feels like
the window.
Like for real, so loud. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. Like,
because all you are in Atlanta.
Storming by your house. Okay.
Yes. Sending prayers and love and safety to the people. Yes, making sure. When you know Wizard of Oz, y'all flying away. Yeah, make sure y'all good. And then Brandi, I mean, come on now. First of all, I was a huge TLC fan. So then when you guys came out, I'm like, oh my God, they're like extra lit. They look like left eyes, and they're so dope. You guys were amazing, just so creative, you know, and just out of the box. And then of course, Bring It On. I mean, it's a cult classic. I mean, before there was Mean Girls, before there was all the other, it was Bring It On, and that's that's where it was. And to see Black girls doing their thing, like shining, it was such a
Did you want to be a cheerleader? Did you want to be a cheerleader?
Let me say that.
Oh my God.
Good.
Right?
For a little bit, just a half a spin. Listen, I know the whole bird is cold in here. There must be some coldness in the atmosphere. Like, let's get it, okay? Okay. And let's be. And this year for Halloween, I will be a clover. So be on the lookout. I will be a clover.
Looking forward to seeing that.
Yes, I'm gonna be a clover, and I'm gonna tag you guys in, and I'm like, I told you, here I am. Here I am. But I just want to thank you all so much, because this right here is so powerful, and I hope that we're able to have more conversations like this. And I think it's so dope to see 3 powerful, intelligent, beautiful, inspiring Black women, positive Black women, you know, who are always doing their thing. And if you guys to come together to have the conversation, you know, and I knew that it wouldn't be any egos, that you guys were coming in with genuine hearts to just chop it up, you know, spread love. And that's exactly what we did. And now I got an idea.
Let's touch on the lack of humility today. Look.
Speak this.
That wears, it wears me out. Let them use you. Listen, it wears me out. Man, I'm not trying to come for the generation or nothing, but man.
Somebody tell them. It's real crazy because you so geeked. And it's like so geeked that they don't realize that they could learn so much from
this. Just bring it down.
We don't have, there is no benefit. I try to say this all the time. There is no benefit to us as especially Black people, Black women. Like, we're the nurturers. We the ones that look out for you. We the ones be like, where your mama at? What you doing? What's, you know what I mean? So in this industry, when we say something, right, you know, people get on Monique because she makes a comment about a bonnet. But baby, we all get irritated when we see it like that. Like, all you have to do is we come up from a space where our mothers and our aunties and the people who loved us, our love language is to be honest with you and to share the truth. So I hope more people exercise humility, Meelah. That's a great point.
I'm telling you, I've been around, especially here in Atlanta. Unfortunately, there's a lot, everybody's famous, and that's fine, honey. Y'all can have it. But I just have experienced some really nasty attitudes, and I'll just be confused. Like,
it's just a lack of respect.
It's weird. It's a lack of respect, and it's.
I respect.
Yes.
Man, like Meelah and Nicci, like I respect you guys so much. Everything you guys have done and will continue to do, and what you have given. You've given your lives to this industry. Ooh. And how can I be sitting up here like, oh, I'm some, no, like I am like honored and grateful to be on a panel with both of you because I'm learning still, and I love you both. Like
Brandi,
it is so important. And that is so, I mean, my sister Cody, she's in the industry. Cody Shane, she's like huge in the industry right now doing. I'm just looking at her generation. She's 25, and I'm like, wow, like Cody comes from us, so she comes from good stock. Like, and some people don't know how to take her because she's so like, she has such humility and like she's so, you know, grateful to be able to live her dream.
Yes.
And
like where's the gratitude?
Yes.
Lack of that.
It
so
is
that we can.
Because there's nobody in the industry right now. Well, let me not say nobody. There are not enough people in this industry who really care about creatives.
Right.
It's really are all we got, right? And my husband had me go down the rabbit hole, not to sidetrack too much, but just seeing all the handsome, good-looking, talented young brothers who are just out here. Like I'm seeing them on trial for things. And then I'm seeing the young women caught up in the middle of it, and I'm like, who cares enough? Right?
Yeah.
To really know, like Michael Jackson was as famous as you get. Prince was as famous as you get. You're not going to ever be more famous than them. What? You're never going to be more famous than Michael Jackson or Prince. So figure out what you can learn that can get you beyond fame, that can transcend.
Listen, just be kind. You know,
that's it.
That's all I'm saying. Like,
but it's hard. But you know what it is though. Also, I think is that it's now a thing where you can't even say anything to people now. Like you can't. You know, it's almost like you said. I think where before you could pull somebody up and be like, "Hey, what you doing?" Da, 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 da. And I remember when I was in college, University of Maryland, Eastern Store, HBCU. Baby, I remember one of my homegirls got put out the class, couldn't even get in the class, I'm sorry, because she had a bonnet on. And Dr. Nina L. Bennett said, you can't come in here. And there was nobody that you could go to. She could have went to the department chair, whoever, and they would have said the same thing. Why are you in her class? Put a bonnet on. That's her standard. That's what it is. And that's just that, right? And it was okay because they were setting a standard, right? And an expectation. Why would you come out your house like that, right? Why would you do
you can't go
whatever and
without dressing appropriate.
I know
you can't work at McDonald's. You can't without your stuff tucked and pressed and clean.
Yeah, like why would you do? And that was a real life lesson. It was you took it, took it on the chin, and kept it moving. You know, Auntie checked you, Mama checked you. That's just what it was. You know, and I think more of that is needed just in the world in general. But again, you know, people receive things as like, oh, you're being negative, you're judgmental, you're being da 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 da. And it's like, no, I was just trying to help. Cool. That's all. I was just trying to give a little word of encouragement, get you right for the future, because these are life lessons. These are
it's different now. Don't get me wrong. I understand evolution, and I understand that, you know, we're different than our parents were, and I'm sure they were different from their parents. So I get that, you know. However, it's just, we need to just learn each other's language and learn to put some respect on each other's language. Period.
That's it.
That's all it is to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there it is. That's the word. That's the benediction.
You know what I mean? That's
the respect on
all I
everybody's
ask. You know, and I don't like to come off that way. You know, I'm very modest, and I like to be. I don't ever want to be mean to anyone, because I know just as sure as God gave it to me, He could totally take it away. And I also know I breathe the same air that this one, you know, breathes, and we all bleed the same, you know. But at the same time, yes, like Brandi said, we have all made incredible contributions to this industry that will live on forever. Our music will forever be sampled. You know what I'm saying? Our songs will ever been sang by children in talent shows. Trust me when I tell you. So, so all I'm saying is just like, hey, if I'm not acting like this, then you don't get to. Right. Calm down. Please calm down.
One of our elders in the industry. Like I can't imagine disrespecting Shaka Khan. I can't imagine disrespecting, like Luther Vandross. Like where they do that at?
That's just ridiculous. But anyway, I don't even know why I brought that up. But I guess that I just the energy.
No. It was because it needed to be. It needed to be. Yes, it needed to be. It needed to be because listen. I mean, I'm not a singer, no. However, if I was on that list, with Auntie Shaka and she said I was off, well, I was off. That's just what it's going to be. If I was off key, I was off key.
That's one of Mary's testimonies. One of Mary's testimonies is how Shaka Khan came to her and was like, don't you let nobody have you do X, Y, Z, A, B, and C. And then
yeah.
And what can you do? Nothing to respect that. It's Shaka Khan.
Nothing. And that was honesty. She said, well, hey, I was recording at this time in the morning. She said, well, why would you do that? Don't ever record that early. Like, but that's a life lesson. Now when you record these times, it ain't good for you. You need to do something else. But that was real. It wasn't about being nasty or diva. Granted, having to be her song she was singing, but however, come here, baby, let me talk to you for a second.
Rather have an honest enemy than a fake friend.
Come on now.
Correct. I got an idea for y'all, cause y'all a vibe. Y'all may need to be a podcast.
I definitely need to get back to work. I need to do a podcast with anybody today because
I'm serious. I think y'all could definitely, I don't know if you're still doing your R&B Divas podcast, Auntie Nicci. However, you got some divas right here
to come together and do. We can do it. I truly.
Yeah. Or something else. You can call it something else.
Right.
Whatever. That's fine too.
I saw her and my sister Aaron Jackson. I see on there, Aaron.
I know I ain't spoke to nobody on it, but thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for the comments. Look.
Indie love, boo. Yeah, like all the love. No, seriously, you guys, I think that would be so dope. Just to have a panel of ladies, singers, and that's what brings you guys together and just chop it up on all these things.
Yeah, it's necessary.
To be had.
There's so much that needs to be discussed, right?
Yeah.
It's necessary, and you can bring on other artists on and talk to them, and I think it would be amazing.
I think that's
amazing, and it would open up conversations that really need to be.
702 is going next week to Essence, and we're doing a panel. I believe it's just with Kid and Play, and it's about the 90s and the state of music right now. And it's interesting because there seems to be more and more conversations about the 90s. I don't understand. Well, yes, I do, child. I do understand. The 90s was the shit. But, right. I'm like, the 90s was so effective. Now, don't get me wrong. When we were coming up, for us, it was, our parents' music. The 70s, I love disco. And the 80s, oh, my God, I love me some 80s. Lord knows I love the SOS Band and Atlantic Star and all of them.
Yes.
But it was something about the 90s. I don't know what it was. And Kid and Play they were 90s, right? Or 80s? 90s? Kid and Play, were they?
80s.
80s, right? But so
80s.
that's going to be very
80s,
that's going to be very interesting to hear their their take on things and their insight. And I'm gonna be there as a student, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely got to make that happen. I see it. Now, if y'all make this happen, don't forget about me now. Don't forget about me. Just a little something. I just want to send my kids to college. I ain't got to be rich, extra rich. Just want to send them to school, wherever he want to go.
All about.
That's all I'm asking. That's it.
Well, speaking of kids, y'all, I'm sorry. I do need to tip on out because my child is at my.
Yes, we're going to close this out now. And mine is upstairs, like, Daddy.
I've been on here for 2 hours.
Right. So, but this has been amazing. I love you all. And you guys, please follow all these legendary ladies. Shout out to Brandi Williams of Blaque, Meelah of 702, and Nicci Daniels of Brownstone. And I'm your guy, Jerry, a.k.a. Mr. Dress and Rest. This has been another episode of Soulful Sundays, Black Music Month edition, The Impact of Girl Groups. And tonight, please watch the BET Awards celebrating 50 years of hip hop. It's going to be a big ordeal. Busta Rhymes getting the Lifetime Achievement Award tonight, guys. So please be sure to check that on out. And y'all make sure y'all follow me, Meelah and Brandi. Been friends forever.
I already told you how terrible my Instagram etiquette is. Okay, I don't be paying attention. But look. But since you done called me out, where's look? Oh, I'm on my phone. I'm about to say, what's my phone?
I know y'all love me. I know y'all love me. It's
the way to get a follow though.
Your boy
blasters all out in front of the people.
Call it like
right.
Baby.
Call like I said. You all are amazing. Much love to you, and we
Thank
show
you so much.
See you guys.
Bye, Nicci. Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.